Hey guys, it's Gilberto, and if you see your country on this map right here, if you live in any of those countries right here, you are cook. You're absolutely cook, especially if you make money online. And the good thing is that you have an opportunity to actually change it because unless you want to be a forever loser and live in any of those countries that you see right here, whether that's like North America, Australia, or Western Europe, you have the opportunity, and as a man, you should look for a better life. So I'm gonna explain to you why, if you live in any of those places right here and you make money online, you're absolutely fucking cook. So let's start with personal income tax. This is a map of Europe. You can see that the purple part, essentially, you have almost 50% tax. 50% tax, or even more in some countries like France or Denmark. That means that for every dollars, every euros that you make, 50% goes to the government. For what? Well, we're gonna see why for what in a second. Second of all, let's see at the immigration. If you're from Europe or even US or Australia, you see a lot of those engineers and doctors recently flood into your countries, right? And the correlation that you see with those doctors is that they bring a lot of these. This is a rape chart versus immigration. You can see the chart aligns perfectly. This is Sweden, one of the most safe country they used to be in Europe, and now is a complete shithole. You can see the perfect correlation between raping from these engineers and immigrants, right? So this is what you pay 50% of your tax to, is to essentially fund those people that are going to live on welfare, and they're going to outbreed you because obviously if you don't have to work, you can just spend time procreating the new generation of Europeans or Americans or Australians. And so that's essentially what the face of the Western world, the white world, is going to look like in the next 50 years from now, right? All thanks to your taxpayer money that you are so nicely willing to pay for them so they can replace you. How nice of you. Then we also have to do with this, I don't even know what the fuck is this thing, but you essentially have to do to LGBT and this transgender, whatever the fuck is, feminist, essentially all those brain dead people that are buying into the propaganda, right? I think we know who this guy is right here. So they're all buying into his propaganda, and so what they're gonna do is decrease fertility rate, which is gonna cause an increase even of immigrants, because that's how Europe and United States and Canada justify the fact that they're getting so much immigrant, despite the fact that they no work and their average IQ is about 85. Then obviously you also have transgenderism, which further increase the fertility issues that we have, and it just feminized man to the point that we have no warriors, no one to fight for, because that's essentially is the modern man. At least that's what they were trying to achieve, right? My little fella right here, that's the propaganda he's trying to achieve. In school, it's the same thing. So obviously, this is the typical white girl, 45 years old with no kids. And because she has no kids, she has to go to school and teach other people's kids to be open and LGBT and friendly, open-minded, and it's okay to mix, it's okay to love everyone, love is fine, gender is a construct, there is no such a thing, typical liberal stuff that you see nowadays, especially in the US and Germany, all those countries that are absolutely cooked. Like Germany used to be a super chat country, now is a disgrace of humankind. It's absolutely horrible. Now you got the digital ID that they try to impose, obviously, because they control exactly what you do online. So first they're trying to push everyone online, after the with that essentially just increase the overall speed at which we do things online, as well as making a few $1 trillion from the jab that you got. But now is the point, obviously, to get a digital ID, because then they can see every single one of your movement. Then, because that's not enough, they also try to get rid of more white people by creating some Rothschild wars, such as, for example, the Russian, Ukrainian, European war, where now Europe want to join together with Ukraine, not just from a financial perspective, but also from a military perspective, and sending troops, white European fellas, young white European fellas, to die in the name of democracy and freedom, right? And same thing, obviously, is also going on with the USA, Iran, same exact players, just different flags, but the overall master is always right here doing this thing. And then you have the median house cost in the United States, but this is also in Europe, it's the same thing. You can see how in the 1960s, you could pretty much get a house within 1 or 2 years of working. And now in 2025, 2020, it takes about 6 times more or even further to get a house. And in the future, if you continue to these trends, it's going to take about 10 times your salary to get a house. In many cases, it already takes even further, right? Even more. Like, for example, in Europe, it already takes like fucking 15, 20 salaries in some countries, like mine in Italy or Germany or some other countries, because you have a house crisis. And why you have a house crisis is because the influx of immigrants, right, which then are causing the house crisis because the government is paying for them through your majestic taxes that every single month you decide to pay, so they can replace you and have a comfortable life while you essentially die eaten alive by the tax system and the LGBT feminists that are screaming to you that you're a bad person because you're white and you want to protect your kids from these and possible wars, right? So that's why if you make money online, it should be your duty as a man to leave those countries as soon as possible, because they are no longer safe, obviously, because of crime rate has increased thanks to the engineers which are doing surgery at open air. But also the income taxes, they're trying to get rid of all your wealth, essentially. They're trying to eat the middle class. And they're trying to put you in a little box with a digital ID so they can track every single movement that you do, like Palantir, to name one player. So they can essentially at any time freeze your bank account, freeze your assets or whatever, because you essentially are a problem to the system, right? To this socialist system that they have designed to control the world through a unified government. So what are the options, at least from now? I'm not sure how it's going to look in the next 20 years, but at least for now, if you're a young person like me, I'm 26, if you're anywhere between the age of 20 and 30 and you make money online, there are a few options. Option number one is to move to Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe is essentially anything post Germany and Austria. Right here is a beautiful place, is obviously still European, therefore it's extremely safe. The overall infrastructure are great. Climate is great. Food is great. I mean, in my opinion, Eastern Europe is the new Europe, right? If everyone wanted to live in Western Europe in the 1970s, 1980s, now the new dream is Eastern Europe, with Poland be the capital of the new Europe. Notable mention also go to Slovakia. I think it's a great country. Hungary, even though I'm not sure about the new prime minister, I think it's a great country as well. You go Croatia, you go Serbia. You go even Bulgaria, where you, for example, I pay my taxes and that's where I'm resident and I only pay 10%. So it's great. You still essentially are in the European Union, therefore you can enjoy all the healthcare. But because I live in Bulgaria, obviously I have less taxes to pay than, let's say, if I were to live in Italy, which, just to be precise, I don't. I spend maybe 1 month of the year in Italy. So why should I pay taxes there, right? Obviously, you have to move to pay less taxes. Like, that's why I live in Bulgaria. Or you can even live in countries, to be honest, like Greece, as long as you have like income from any of those countries. Or my favorite choice really would be to move to Asia, right? And even though I don't have Asia on the map right here, of course, of places like Bali, Thailand, Korea, Japan. Those are great places to live in as a foreign because your income obviously goes way further and you can actually buy a house. And now I know there's going to be someone that say, oh, but that's colonization. Oh, you are colonizing. Like, listen, fella, okay? All I'm doing is just bringing more money into a developing economy like Indonesia or Thailand. They're not against that. What they're against is like fucking massive BlackRock trillion-dollar companies that just go there and buy fucking everything. Me, normal human being, normal father, normal person, there is no issue of me going to Thailand and buy a house there and live there and boost the economy by essentially investing into the overall Thai system or just buying things, again, to boost the economy. There is no problem with that. The problem is when those fucking multi-trillion-dollar assets company, they go into the market and they just destroy everything. That's a problem. Not the single person that goes there to live a better life because it's not safe anymore in Europe, right? So just a quick note for like the brain dead people that might have to hear this. So like I was saying, Thailand is a great place. Bali, even though now it's not as good as it used to be because of the influx of influencer and the Russian mafia and all that kind of stuff, it's still a great place. You can have like a nice villa for 70, 80K, which is something that it's impossible nowadays in United States or Europe. Like for 300K, you buy a shittle apartment. Whereas in Asia, those places with 100K, you buy a beautiful mansion or like a villa or whatever. Or, like I said, you can also go in Eastern Europe. It's definitely going to be more expensive than Asia, but still in Poland or Hungary, those places with 100, 200K, you can still buy a pretty good apartment or house, even close to city centers in some cases. And you're also going to enjoy the European lifestyle, which means that it's going to be safe, the infrastructure is great, but you don't have all those problems that you might have essentially in Western Europe with immigrants, with digital ID, with all this bullshit that is going on right now. So that's why if you're making money, you should definitely move there. And the good amount of money that you should make, it's up to you. In my opinion, if you make at least $3,000 net, that means after taxes, that you essentially have as available income that you can spend on a monthly basis. Any of those places that I mentioned is fine. Even Japan, even though Japan sounds expensive, actually it's not. If you make 3K per month, you can live extremely well in Japan. Perhaps you're not gonna have a huge apartment in the center of Tokyo, but that doesn't matter. You can just get like a smaller apartment a little bit outside of Tokyo, like maybe 15-20 minutes from the center with a metro. And I lived there. I was there for 6 months. You can still have an amazing life for $3,000 per month. Same goes in Korea. Same goes obviously in the rest of Europe, right here in Eastern Europe, in Poland, Hungary. For $3,000 a month, you can live a very decent lifestyle while enjoying all the benefit of a functional and safe society that actually cares about their people, for now at least. And so I don't see the reason why you should live in any of this, right? As long as you make money in this economy, but you do it essentially online, so digitally, therefore you don't have to physically be there, bro, just move. It's your duty as a man to look forward for a better future for your future family, or your family if you ever have one. And stay in any of those places is going to be a disgrace to God, disgrace for your future family, and for yourself as a man, because it means that you're okay with surrendering and having those people right here just fuck you over because you are a weak pussy. Right? So that's it. That's the video for now. I hope you guys enjoy it. I would like to know your opinion as well in the comments if you guys think there is any country that I missed, but I think those are the best ones really to live in. And yeah, looking forward to your opinion. Cheers.